Sometimes the simplest lives carry the deepest truths. The bell echoed through the valley, rolling down the hillsides like a call to order. Children rushed through the school gates, their laughter filling the air with the kind of joy that only innocence can bring. Among them, hesitant and unsure, walked Zawa. His steps were heavy, not from tiredness but from the weight of unfamiliarity. At 15, this was his very first. For Zawa, life had never been about classrooms or books. His world had been carved out of wood, echoing with the thud of an axe against tree trunks and the scent of pine that clung to his clothes. Born to a humble woodcutter named Caillou, Zawa had spent his years on the hilltop, far from the bustling city, far from other children his age. Their hut was simple. The firewood they collected each day was not only their livelihood but their lifeline. It kept their hut warm, kept hunger at bay, and kept their spirits alive. He believed education could be the doorway to a brighter life, a door he had never been able to open for himself. Zawa, however, never saw the lack. His days were filled with the rhythm of work. Rise at dawn, follow his father into the woods, chop and carry until the sun dipped low, and rest beside the fire at night. He had never questioned it. To him, life was a circle, complete in its repetition, safe in its familiarity. One evening, as sparks from the fire drifted upward like tiny stars, Caillou said, "Zawa, tomorrow you will go down the hill. To that red building you've seen, that is a school." Zawa blinked, puzzled. "What is school?" Caillou chuckled, though there was a trace of sadness in his eyes. "It's a place where you will learn. With learning, you can become more than a woodcutter. You can be a doctor, a teacher, maybe even something greater. You'll have choices, my son." The words didn't land the way Caillou hoped. Choices? Greater? To Zawa, nothing seemed greater than the life he already knew. But he nodded anyway, because he trusted his father's judgment more than his own curiosity. And so, Zawa sat in a classroom for the first time, surrounded by bright faces and new voices. He mimicked the others when they stood to greet the teacher, though his heart thudded in his chest. That day, the teacher announced, "Each student will stand and share their ambition, what they dream of becoming in life." The word ambition was foreign to Zawa. He watched as one child declared he would be a pilot, another a doctor, another an engineer. Dreams spilled from their mouths like rehearsed songs. Then it was Zawa's turn. He stood slowly, hands trembling, his mind blank. The teacher smiled encouragingly. "Tell us, Zawa, what is your ambition?" Confused, Zawa asked softly, "Teacher, what is ambition?" The classroom erupted in laughter. Giggles bounced from wall to wall, but the teacher quickly silenced them. With patience, she explained, "Ambition is what you hope to achieve in life, something greater you want to become." Zawa's eyes fell to the wooden desk beneath his hands. He thought of the trees he cut, the branches he carried, the evenings by the fire. With honesty, he answered, "I don't have ambition. I cut wood with my father in the morning, we drink tea in the evening, and we sleep at night. That is all. We achieve what we plan each morning by nightfall. There is nothing more." The laughter returned, sharper this time. Zawa felt the sting of it. Though he hadn't lied, he had spoken the truth of his world. The teacher sighed, her smile fading. "Zawa, without ambition, you are like a boat without a sail. You must have a goal, or else you will drift aimlessly." But Zawa couldn't understand. Why must he want more? Why must he chase something distant when his life already felt complete? His heart was calm in the woods, his satisfaction found in simple labor. Still, he carried his teacher's words home, heavy and unshakable. That night, he told Caillou everything. "Father, they ask me to walk a road I cannot see. They say I must reach a place I've never been, a destination they call ambition. But what if I am already where I want to be? Caillou studied his son's face, then burst into laughter, not mocking but full of pride. "You speak like a man wiser than your years, Zawa. People believe happiness lies ahead, at the end of a road. They don't realize it can also live here, in the moment, beside the fire." Zawa nodded, but the words of his teacher echoed still. At school the next day, when asked again, he declared, "I want to be a doctor." The teacher clapped, the class cheered, and for the first time Zawa was not laughed at. But inside, he felt hollow. He had said what they wanted to hear, not what he truly felt. Days turned into weeks. Zawa sat in class, watching his classmates talk of futures that sparkled in their imaginations. But when his eyes wandered out the window, he saw something else. He saw clouds drifting without direction, yet always moving. He saw rain falling without ambition, yet nourishing all it touched. He saw grass growing freely, without pattern, yet beautifully alive. Nature did not need ambition. It simply was. One afternoon, as Zawa walked home, he noticed a gardener shaping the grass into neat rows, bending it into forms it was never meant to take. The sight unsettled him. Humans, it seemed, could not allow nature, or themselves, to simply be. They insisted on shaping, on molding, on chasing. Back at the hut, Zawa sat beside his father. "Father, the world wants me to grow like a tree that reaches for the sky. But what if I am content being the tree that gives shade right where it stands?" Caillou smiled, placing a weathered hand on his son's shoulder. "Then you will have found a truth many never discover, my boy. To be content is its own kind of greatness." Years passed, and though Zawa continued his schooling, he never forgot his roots. He studied because his father wished it, but he never let go of the axe, never stopped walking the woods. He balanced both worlds, the world of books and the world of trees, but his heart always remained on the hilltop. One day, long after his father had grown weak with age, Zawa carried him to the edge of the forest. Together they watched the sunset. Caillou, his voice faint but filled with love, said, "Zawa, the world may never understand you. They will call you aimless because you refuse to chase what they chase. But I have seen you grow. You are not aimless, you are rooted, and a rooted tree never fears the storm." Zawa held his father's hand tightly, tears warming his eyes. He realized then that ambition, as the world defined it, was not the only path. For some, peace itself was the destination, and for Zawa, that was enough.